So thank you so much, the Areva for your video. It's pronounced Schminke, not Schmink, though I do think it's a rather funny last name, and my English students find the same thing. Um, yeah, so just to clarify a couple of points, yeah, I did say that trans is not a thing. I did say that I don't believe in the true trans argument. Now, you might be wondering, well, does that mean that I'm transphobic or that I hate trans people? And the answer that I would give is no, absolutely not. It's not because I think that they don't exist. What do I mean by that? I just mean that I don't think there are people born with dysphoria that necessarily leads them to a transition. That the only way to solve uh, dysphoria is through transition. I think the idea that with true trans, which is kind of tricky, is that um, you kind of think that it's the same as gay, that you're born that way, and the only way through it is through transition. And I think that's the only thing that we really have to talk about here. It's like, how do we deconstruct this notion that that the only okay? So, for example, I mean, I guess you're saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth because I really want to understand what you mean. Do you think that some people are born trans like from birth, or do you think that they develop dysphoria? Because I mean that's not something that I didn't say, right? In my video, I said that dysphoria exists and that and I think that we're giving way too much clout to this term of dysphoria. Like that's why I use the word dysmorphia or dissonance or disturbance, because it is a discomfort. You know what I mean? It is a discomfort. And I guess my response to that would be, well, how do you get through that discomfort? You know, what are some ways you can get through that discomfort? And I did use the word mutilation. I know you didn't include that in your video, but what are some ways we can get past that discomfort without doing something irreversible that some people do regret? And I know that once it's done, and we shouldn't really, there's nothing you can do about it. So the best thing to do is to accept your new body, right? It's a hard thing, and I think I think that's what we often misunderstand. I feel like, okay, you're kind of pretending to be the neutral person here and saying that you're taking a neutral stance, but it is kind of coming off that you're accusing me of being transphobic and accusing. I know you never used that word, but that you're saying it kind of runs the organization through the mud, or that it's too extreme, or that and I think that's an interesting perspective because it seems tactically similar to every single strategy that the trans activists have been pulling over the last like 20 years. First it was that transgender is a thing and we have to defend that tooth and nail, and now true trans is becoming the new kind of goalpost. You know what I mean? So I just think, why can't we ask questions about true trans too? I mean, that's all I'm doing. I'm saying that trans is not a thing. I mean, what do I mean by that? I just mean that true trans or true transsexual, that argument, I don't think it has much validity to it, right? I think that, I mean, how can you at the same time, right? You say that it's a dysphoria, and then you also say that some people are innately transsexual, right? When transsexual is the result. Okay, transsexual is the end of the road. Okay, it's what they do. It's what they are after having operations done to them. It's the transsexual. Trans itself. It's in the name. It means you transport, right? You move from one point to another point. Okay, so I guess that would be my question, my critique, and I'm reading all the comments. I'm loving it. I should grab some popcorn here because it's entertaining to me. It's like, I think you guys are thinking that I'm, just because I disagree with certain, people who might call themselves transsexuals, that I dislike them. I mean, no. I mean, I don't understand how that could be the case. I mean, since when did it become that when you have an opinion that you automatically dislike someone? And I'm not. It's not just an opinion, right? You're saying, and I do agree with you. It's not a medical. I don't have medical knowledge. I don't have years of experience working with trans patients, right? I do have to argue that there are a lot of unqualified gender therapists at the time. I mean, you see what they're doing to you see what you're doing to like these trans identified community. Like these people are claiming to be trans. They're going into the office and they're getting drugs and surgeries. And I mean, everyone's criticizing that, whether they call themselves transsexual, whether they call themselves LGB, wherever you are in this. I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think it is a really sensitive topic, and I hope that that gives you some clarity to what I was trying to argue. I mean, yeah. Anyways, have a good one.